Hello everyone. Since I'm here alone at the moment, I might as well record another video. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way, and I mean, even if you don't want to subscribe to my channel, it would be cool if you could, share it, share my link, spread it around that I have this channel in the first place. Still don't have nearly as many subscribers as I would like, but evidently these things take time. Should I pick up where I left off, or should I just tell you guys some random stories? Here I'm like full of all kinds of things to say, and once I hit the record button, all of a sudden I can't think of anything to say. It's ridiculous. Let me think. Well, yeah, like I said, in July 5th, 2015, that was when I, first got arrested for setting the dude's yard on fire and for resisting the cops. And because of the fact that it was my first offense and I took responsibility for my actions, I got, PR'd. However, I did not comply with what the court was asking me to do. Like I said, they wanted me to do a drug and alcohol assessment, pay like a $300 fine, and then be on probation. I think it was like for either 6 months or a year or something. I don't know. My brain is hazy these days when it comes to things that have happened recently. I can remember what happened back when I was a kid, but something that happened a few years ago, heaven forfend, I should remember all of that. You know what I mean? But, yeah. So I was, decided I would go ahead and go back to the peninsula after I got released from jail. Like I didn't learn my lesson that all those people didn't want me there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like I said, Key Peninsula, Gig Harbor, Port Orchard, predominantly white, predominantly, racist. So that's why, all these other people were doing what they wanted to do, and everybody was, blaming me for whatever it was that they were doing because, they wanted to see me hurt. They wanted to see me get killed. So they were spreading around all kinds of rumors about me being a snitch, which is not even the freaking case. I just happened to be black on the Key Peninsula. So that made me a target, and that made me a scapegoat. And it's even worse when you're dealing with people like these, the ones who are on drugs with no conscience, because they don't care. They would stand there and watch while somebody murdered you, and they wouldn't shed a tear. They would probably help participate in the murder. But silly me, and see, that's why I said God always had my back, because I was in so many horrible situations, over there alone. So many people threatening to beat me up, people threatening to kill me, just all kinds of stuff. But silly me at the time, once again, I'm one of these people who's like, oh man, I did so many bad things in my life, I deserve to be treated like crap. No, I don't. And nobody does. It's just a matter of you getting up off your behind and getting away from toxic, clearly, demented, deranged people. And it's hard these days because those kind of people are everywhere no matter where you go. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think how I ended up back in Tacoma, pretty much for good. I feel like I ended up getting picked up in Gig Harbor, Washington on the warrant because obviously, there ended up being some warrants out for my arrest when I didn't comply with what, the Pierce County Court, had wanted me to comply with. So, yeah, there was several times I ended up, getting arrested because of that failure to comply, Yeah, and it was not pretty, but I remember, getting picked up in Gig Harbor and having to go back to jail. And I almost feel like I got released then, too, on my own recognizance. Everything, just all these memories kind of run together. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I ended up deciding, you know what? I'm not even gonna, even try to go back there. I'll just stay in Tacoma. And, ran the streets for a little bit, like a couple of days. And next thing I know, I'm waking up behind this Chevron gas station on 6th Avenue in Tacoma. And, those of you from Tacoma, you pretty much know that area isn't that great either, right? So I wake up behind Chevron in the morning under a wet blanket, missing my ID, or my driver's license, my social security card, and my shoes. So I think I already told you guys about this in a previous video, how I end up staggering down the street to some restaurant. It was on 6th Avenue somewhere. Yeah, it was like if you were headed from TCC, headed to where Kmart used to be on 6th Avenue, in between those those two places. And that's when the police ended up getting called, and I had to sit in the back of this cop's car while he's talking to me about, oh, hey, I don't like donuts. I know that's a stereotype, but I'm a cop and I don't like donuts. So this dude is lecturing me for like 5-10 minutes about why, it's wrong to accuse police officers of all loving, donuts. So it's like, okay, dude, whatever. So I ended up, because my brother came to pick me up. The one that I don't want anything to do with, can't stand, because he's nothing but a backstabber and worse, which I ain't even going to go into detail on here because it would make a lot of people angry. But so he was the one that ended up picking me up. So I ended up going back to my childhood house, which, like I said, I'm part owner of. There was originally 6 of us kids. Our oldest brother died back in 2001. So us 5 remaining kids were part owners of my childhood house. Now, like I had also stated, my mother was a deeply disturbed, deranged woman who decided not to make a will. Decided not to work a job either. Didn't want to, get a driver's license. Didn't want to get a car. Didn't want to do anything. All she wanted to do was be abusive to her kids and run her mouth about what her neighbors were doing. Just very judgmental. I mean, dang, at least these people are out there, they're working jobs. They have cars. They have driver's licenses. I mean, my mom, one of the most miserable human beings on the world. One of the most horrible human beings in the world. Yeah. I fall over my own words a lot these days now. Anyways, that's nothing new. But yeah, so, when she could have been, making a will or whatever, she decided not to do that. And I think that's like, her final, screw you to all the kids, the fact that there was no will. So this particular brother decided he was going to take over, everything that's going on at the house. Had me convinced that, he was in control of something when he really wasn't. And I found this out from my other brother, the one I share a birthday with. I mean, him and I were cool, whatever. But, he was explaining to me that the brother was, telling, law enforcement this or doing this or that, acting like, he was in control when he wasn't. And like I said, I was there for like a month and then ended up leaving, running back to the streets. And then when I try to go back to my house and there's no restraining order against me, I'm part owner of the house. He is the one that invited these police officers inside the house. And the next thing I know, like 5 minutes later, they're running out of the house scared to death, telling me to get in the back of the patrol car, that we got to leave now. And then I get dropped off in downtown Tacoma in the rain at night with nothing more than a blanket and a good luck. And I was telling a friend of mine, too, about how if you're a black male in Tacoma, or any black person in Tacoma, you already know that Tacoma PD, a lot of them are like hardcore, like stone cold racist, right? It takes a special piece of trash to be black and call the Tacoma Police Department on their relative, being a black female. And for absolutely nothing, I hadn't committed any crimes. That house is partly mine. And yet he, being a black male who's committed crimes, which I won't even mention, which I should. Maybe I should tell the police about the stuff he's done. But he decided to call them on me. So I ended up getting shipped out to downtown Tacoma. Yeah, and ironically enough, I ended up, taking that blanket, sleeping in a parking lot, and ended up waking up under another wet blanket. And, things get really blurry after then because, like I said, I was going from, Tacoma to Fife and back and forth because both Emerald Queen casinos were over there. You had the one on, near Portland Avenue, the original, well, it wasn't the original casino, but it was the one that they had, that they were running, Puyallup Tribe was running before they had opened this brand new one that's there, on, Portland Avenue. So I was going from there to the one on Pack Highway in Fife because they have the shuttle where you can, hop on that shuttle and go back and forth to these different casinos. And that was also one of my main hustles, not just holding the cardboard sign at the freeway exit ramp. It was also, going into the casino and begging people for money. Or finding cash out vouchers, putting them back into the machine and trying to make money that way. And, it's so crazy all the things I learned just going to those 2 casinos alone. And I almost feel like I could, start a completely new channel and just telling you guys about all the things that have happened at those casinos. I mean, I've noticed a lot of weird stuff going on. So, maybe that's something I'll tell you guys one of these days. But, for now, I just want to, just keep this this story flowing the way it's supposed to. But yeah, it does seem like a movie. My life sometimes feels like a horror movie. But, every day I'm trying to do better than I did the previous day. I'm not perfect. I don't feel great. Going through some stuff and need to get a primary care physician so I can get checked out. And, there weren't many people that did know what I'm about to say, but now you all are going to know. I'm afraid that quite possibly I'm displaying symptoms of early onset dementia, honestly. Because like I said, as far as I know, that's how my mom died and how most of, if not all of her sisters died too. I'm genetically predisposed to it. And I have not been feeling myself ever since I got clean and sober. I mean, it's hard for me to articulate my speech. It's hard for me to remember things. It's just something, doesn't feel right. I mean, it's pretty bad when it takes me almost a week to remember what this guy's name was. The little short black comedian, what's his name? Kevin Hart, right? Yeah, took me like almost a week to remember what his name was. Kevin Hart. Not that difficult, right? But for me, it was very frustrating. And that's just, just a small example. But I really do need to get into a doctor and get referrals to see a neurologist or whatever else, whatever other doctor I need to see that can help me find out what's going on in my brain. And since I've pretty much stumbled over all of my words with this video, I'll end it here. And yeah, I'm not going to re-record this. I mean, take what I'm saying or leave it. That's all on you guys. Love you all. Have a blessed day. Stay safe out there. And please subscribe to my channel, but only if you want to. God bless y'all. Love ya. Bye.